The one you should suspect in all of this is not Fox News. The one that you should suspect in this is the New York Times and HuffPo and everything else. Because here's what they're thinking. You know what? Eric Holder, he's just a bad man. You know, maybe I don't know if he was probably right on the whole gun running thing in Mexico, and you know, if he was targeting Fox News, that's well, he's right. He's right about that. But he was going after our friends at the AP, and we just won't have that. Nefarious members, and I don't believe there's a star chamber of journalists that get together and think like this, but I do believe that they do have groupthink. They just think alike. And I think that they really do believe that Eric Holder is the bad guy, and he's going to hurt
anyway.
He's going to hurt the president.
Yeah. And if it stops with him, if he's their sacrificial lamb, that's fine, as long as it stops right there and it doesn't get to the president. And this is the opportunity.
Right. So what you're seeing here, I believe, is the beginning of the end for Eric Holder. Eric Holder is done. I believe Eric Holder is done. Now, the question is, will anything actually be fixed? Because what he'll do is he'll resign, he'll get his full benefits, he'll go away, he'll get all kinds of accolades, he'll be made a doctorate of whatever.
He'll go to work at the Center for American
Progress.
Progress.
He'll go to work for the Center for American Progress. They will cleanse him, he will be fine, and nothing will happen, and the administration will go on.
And he'll make millions of dollars doing speeches and appearing on MSNBC on a regular basis.
He'll get a great job after this, and nobody will have a problem. Nobody will go to jail. They'll say, this is enough. We got rid of it. And that's what they're doing. The press is not going because they have decided, isolate. If you isolate, that is Saul Alinsky. Isolate. That's the first sign you're in trouble. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to isolate Eric Holder, and they're going to try to put all of the problems into that basket. Isolate Eric Holder, get rid of Eric Holder, give your pound of flesh. Just thought of something. We have a book coming out in, second week of June. This is the follow-up. We've worked 4 years on this one, 3 years on this one. The follow-up to the Overton window. And I just wasn't going to release this until it was right. And what's so funny about this is this book, when I said it 3 or 4 years ago, and I was talking to the writers and the publishers, and I said, this is the storyline. And they kept coming back to me, and I'm like, nope, that's not the story. No. And they finally just did the story. But I remember the reason why they didn't want to do the story. They said it was too outlandish. It was just too crazy. And I said, by the time this thing is published, it won't be. And it's now. You read it. Have you guys read it yet?
No.
Have you read it yet?
The new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just got a copy of it.
You read it, and it is exactly what's happening right now. It's called The Eye of Moloch. And The Eye of Moloch kind of revolves, and I don't want to give too much of the story away, but basically, today is the day they opened the Utah Center for Surveillance. Today's the day they cut the ribbon on that thing. We'll give you a hint. That's part of the Eye of Moloch. And it was all too outlandish. But when I said, a minute ago, they'll sacrifice Eric Holder and hope that that's enough, that again is from Moloch. All he asks you for is just a little bit of a sacrifice, but it's never enough. It's never enough. And so they will sacrifice Eric Holder on this altar and hope that it's enough. We shouldn't allow it to be enough. And I think what's happening is the journalists that are not going because they're going to report on anything, because they can't. But I remember going in to the Oval and having an off-the-record conversation with the president. Wasn't allowed to say anything. But I will tell you that I learned about his thinking. I learned exactly where he was going. And I think that's what any smart journalist would do. You don't need to report this. Don't you get tainted. Listen. Listen to what they're spinning and what they're doing. And there's more ways to report on things than just coming out and saying they report. All you have to do is then watch for the signs. You know what direction they're headed. Now, the question here on this one is, will Eric Holder change his approach because the big ones aren't there? Will he actually be giving information to Fox News? Anyway, you look at it. Eric Holder is done.